Well, we all know the housing market has changed and it's gone down. And yet sometimes you need to look for a house while you're still someplace else so you can move directly in. And sometimes just coming here is just not the right thing to do. Well, if you want to still find that house, find it virtually and make sure you don't get ripped off, I'm going to go through the best methods for you to find your house virtually and make sure that you get the perfect home for yourself. Real quick, my name is Eric Hudson. I'm a real estate agent here in the Las Vegas area. And if you ever wanted to reach out to me, just call, text, or email. All my information is in the info section. And let's get on with the show. So what got this video started? So I went to go see some houses today. And one of them in particular was, I'll just say, not in the best of shape. And yet, the way it was presented in pictures didn't do it justice. And I mean on the opposite side. My clients were saying, so all I can say is, it looks so good in the pictures. So I'm going to go through the steps you need to take if you're shopping for a house virtually. Remember, sometimes you can't just come here. Maybe you're stationed in Japan, maybe you're in Germany, and you still want to be able to move straight into a house and you don't want to do that whole going to TLF, or you're just coming from some other place if you're not in the military. You want to be able to just hit the ground running and stick that key in the lock instead of coming here, spending 2 weeks searching for a house, and then going through the entire closing process. So let's go through the steps you need to take to make sure that you're going to get the house that you love. First tip I can give you is skip the automated tours. Now, some realtors are going to put out a tour of the house and it's in video format. Well, think about this. When they ran through that house, they ran through in the best conditions. They skipped the things they didn't want you to see. They have the pile of dirty clothes here in the corner and they're skimming around, and maybe they have a professional photographer who's doing it, and they are presenting that house in the best light. That is their job. The thing is, your job is to make sure you get the best house. So what you want to do is, with your agent, have them go out to the house. Don't just go by that video tour. Don't even go by the 3D tour if they have that. Certainly don't go by the pictures. Have your agent videotape every single nook and cranny. Make sure they're pointing out the little things. Make sure they're pointing out the settlement cracks. Make sure they're pointing out the floors and the gaps if you have parquet flooring and stuff like that where it's dried up in the wood. You have to have that agent go through everything for you. What's even better, do it live. I don't know, have you ever heard of a thing called Zoom? Yeah, we've kind of gotten used to Zoom. Have that agent go through there, make sure they pan slowly for you and get into every nook and cranny. Pretend you're there. Pretend that agent strapped that camera to their heads and they're just walking around and you're guiding them like they're little robots. That's the best way to do it. If you were there, where would you look? Open that closet. Can you get down low? Can you look at that floor for me? It kind of looked a little dirty in the pictures. I just wanted to be sure. Matter of fact, that's a comment from this week from another person where I actually helped them find their house virtually. And they actually thought the floor was dirty. It was actually the pattern. And when they came to get their keys, they were like, wow, the floor really does look great in person. I thought it was dirty. No, this was a pattern, just like you said. Next thing, what about the noise? What about that airport? You know, we have, let me see, 4 airports here. We have Nellis Air Force Base, North Las Vegas, Harry Reid, and Henderson. 4 airports just here in the city area. What that sounds like? Well, maybe the house is well insulated. You never go outside and you don't know, but don't you want to enjoy your time outside? Did you come here just to spend your entire time inside the house? What about your backyard? Go into the backyard. Does it affront a street? What is the noise like during the day? Is there a major traffic route? How much noise are you getting from there? Is it next to the 215 or the 95? How bad is it? Can you stand the noise? Are the neighbors noisy? These are things that your agent should be listening for. Ask that question. What does it sound like? Because you don't want to move into a house and then all of a sudden realize that you're in a flight pattern of something and you're hearing, you don't want that, okay? So make sure that that noise is taken care of. Here's one you haven't thought about, the water pressure. Well, every house should have the water on if it's being shown, with the exception of government houses. They get an exemption from the law because the feds outrank the state. Have your agent turn on the water, let you look at it. Is it nice, powerful, or is it a little stream? Is the sink filling up because it's backed up? What about that, the unmentionable, the toilet? Have them flush the toilet so it kind of power that sucker has. How long does it take to fill up? Is it noisy? Issues you have to worry about in the future. Save yourself a little bit of time. Have them do the knee test. The knee test is where you take your knees on both sides of the toilet and you go like this. You know if the toilet is seated correctly. The last thing you want to do is you get to your new house, want to christen the throne, and then you're like, so yeah, make sure that water issues are taken care of. Also, make sure that they are looking up to see if there are water spots. Where did that come from? How did they get there? Ask the questions. Another thing, this is my secret one. How well did the owners take care of the house? My benchmark for how well the owner took care of the house, the vents for the AC. Go and look at the vents. Are they dusty? They didn't give a flying crap about their house if it's dusty. Filters, are they filthy? You're supposed to change some things. They never changed them? I mean, I've seen some, it's like, my God, do they ever change the filters? Do they care about the rest of their house? When I go and I see a house where the registers are clean and the filters are not filthy, I go, these people took care of their house. They had some pride of ownership. Especially now, you got a little bit of time. Make sure you're doing these little things. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of the houses here don't have as much storage as you have in some other parts of the country. That's why you see so many people with their cars parked in the driveway, is because they put everything in the garage. Well, what does your closet space look like? Have that agent open up every closet. How big are the closets? They fit your clothes. They fit your stuff. Your stuff. You don't want to put all your stuff in the garage. Some of you do, and you're going to end up putting your stuff in the garage, just like everyone else. Maybe in the garage, there's actually like storage cabinets. Some owners will put in like the overhead storage and everything. Are those things there? Make sure your agent goes out in the garage. Make sure they open every closet. Look at it with your agent on that video feed. Oh, these are deep closets. Oh, there are 2 closets in the primary bedroom. We can't say master anymore. But maybe I can. Look back and forth. Oh, there's not enough storage in this house. The closets are tiny. They only go back this much because this is an old house. They did a crappy flip. Look for that stuff. Let's not forget about the exterior. Of course, curb appeal means absolutely everything. But have your agent look for things like, how's the paint doing? For some odd reason, the paint they have here doesn't peel. It's probably because we use stucco. It fades. How faded is the paint? Is that something you're going to have to worry about? Are you going to have to worry about painting in the future? What about the eaves and overhangs? What kind of condition are they in? Are they all busted and depleted? Or are they the nice one that's all stuccoed over and everything? Need to look at that because it may make a factor, because if you're getting certain types of loans like the VA loan and those eaves and overhangs are old and busted, guess what? Somebody's got to fix that, and it's usually going to be the seller, and they're going to be mad. So go ahead and nip that problem in the bud now. Also, if you're getting certain types of loans like VA in particular, have your agent walk around the perimeter of the house and see if things like wood is touching the exterior, because you will fail the VA termite inspection for that. Why waste your time and waste everybody's time? You know something is going to fail an inspection. Look for these things. Look at all the windows. Are they cracked? If you have double pane windows like you really want to have to save electricity and gas and whatever, gas doesn't cost that much, but electricity does. Have there been any intrusions? Look in there and see that all the windows are good. Are they cracked? If you have a cracked window with a VA loan, we're going to make you replace it. Well, not you. Technically, it can be you. People don't realize this, but you can do the repairs that the VA appraiser says. Just make sure you're getting the mechanics lien and all that jazz. So just go over that house. Save yourself that trouble. Have the agent turn on the lights in the interior. Are lights burned out or unplugged, whatever? You can at least do that. One of the things I do, don't have it here with me, is I actually have a FLIR. Back when the housing market was it's just nuts and every house was disappearing in a day. These are the things I did, including walking around with the FLIR to see if there were water intrusions and stuff. Your agent's probably not going to have a FLIR or anything like that. I'm just saying I have as much stuff done as possible up ahead, because guess what? You don't want to have an inspector come in and then you start having all these fights over the inspection. Your agent is not an inspector. They cannot give an inspection, but they can give an opinion on the stuff that they know. And turning on water and things like that and looking to see that paint's faded and you're going to possibly need to do a paint job. Or in the case like today, the pool was old, depleted, and busted and bombed out like Baghdad. And guess what? I told them how much it was going to cost them. As heck ain't going to be buying that house. There's nothing I said, but if it's going to cost you $6,500 to get a pool fixed, it's going to cost you $6,500. Don't you want to know that before you put in an offer? So these are some things you need to think about, especially if you're doing it virtually. And this is what you need to make sure that you're a real estate professional. It doesn't matter if they're in Las Vegas, Los Angeles, or Poughkeepsie, New York. They need to be doing this stuff. And before you go out and even have the agent go out to the house, do a little bit of due diligence for yourself. Number one, I've covered this before. Look at Google Maps. All you gotta do is look at that. If you have a parking issue and you wanna be able to have a lot of parking, it's kind of easy from Google Maps. Use Google Street View. And here's a pro tip. Did you know you can see when that picture was taken from Street View? It's in the lower right-hand corner. Just look at it. And you can actually click that and go back in time for the pictures they've taken. You can see how the neighborhood has progressed over the years. And one other thing you should do, your agent may not do this, look for street views for a few blocks in each direction. That way you can see, just because this neighborhood looks great, what happens when the neighborhood around the corner looks like crap? So if your realtor can do this, do what we call a windshield tour. We used to, like the generals came around and stuff, they would get a windshield tour of the base. Well, make sure your agent gives you a windshield tour if you really want to make sure. One of the things I do when I have a virtual client, someone, let's say they're coming in from, PCS and from England or something like that, is I drive around the neighborhood. For a few blocks, so they can see what the neighborhood's like, what it's like approaching their house from a major street. These are the things you should do, especially when they're interested in the house. And if they don't do it on the first go because they have to see a bunch of houses, great. The one you're about to make an offer on, at the very least, during your due diligence, have them do a full neighborhood drive-by, so to speak, and see what all of the neighbors look like. If you really want to do it and your agent loves you, which they should love you, do it day and night, because things can be different at night than they are during the day. Trust me. One place I rented when I was stationed in San Antonio, during the day it looked great. They moved in, it didn't look so great because it just happened to look great that day. So these are things you need to look at. And again, if you need to get in contact with us for anything, somebody, either myself or someone from my team, will reach out to you, get you taken care of. My contact information is in the info tab. Call, text, or email. And if you have found a little bit of knowledge that you've learned today and you have not subscribed, at least give me that HBO discount, help a brother out, and hit that subscribe button.